I Heart by Daniel Johnson. Copyright 2020 by Renaissance.
Confine all other correspondence to outside the game.
Beth got up.
Look, Andre, I'm about to get cut off, so listen. I'm Bethany in the real world. Login number HM75269, and I want to know who you are in the real world. I want to meet up, so log in to your portal and let's hook up.
Andre looked at her confused.
Login number HM75269. It's important to me.
The picture went black for Bethany. After a moment, a message appeared in front of her with a voice repeating the words.
You have been suspended from participation in the Forgotten Lies for the next 3 days for a breach of gaming protocols. Go to the above address for a complete transcript and a list of the offending dialogue. You can go to the following address if you feel you have received this action in error. Your access to the Forgotten Lies will be prohibited until February 26th at 3:44 PST.
Beth removed the headpiece and stared into the darkness in silence. Back at the lake, Andre sat with Elizabeth, trying to figure out what was going on. What had he done wrong? Was she just talking? What was she talking about? What did she mean by his true self? By Jove, he had never lied to her. What was the real world? Did she mean India? He stared at Elizabeth for a few moments. She now had that blank stare she sometimes had. What did he do wrong?
Elizabeth, have I done something to offend you?
Why, of course not, dearest. Why would you ever get the idea?
He paused for a moment, searching her eyes. He had lost her again. She got this way from time to time. She was very polite, but her character became bland. The vibrancy and the spark was gone. He reached out and touched her hand.
Oh, Elizabeth, please talk to me. I don't know what I've done to offend you, but I assure you I will rectify it. I love you, dearest Elizabeth, with all my heart and all my soul.
She looked at him and smiled warmly.
And I love you too, dearest.
She looked out at the lake.
Well, look at the time. The day has escaped us. Hadn't you better take me home now? I did so enjoy our picnic, but you know how the town people are. We are not yet wed.
Andre looked at her a few moments more in his mind, searching for some way to get through to her. But he knew she was gone. He would just take her home and then she would disappear for who knows how long. It had happened this way so many times before. What did he do wrong? Or why did he love her so? The carriage ride home was pleasant. They were both quiet. Elizabeth was affable and betrayed no hint as to what had bothered her before. Andre knew something was not right, however. In his silence, he came up with a plan. He would go and see Sergeant Mills. He had met him while he was in India and spent a lot of time with him in the Sudan. Sergeant Mills was a man of the world and very astute. He would know what was going on. He would know about this real world, if such a place even existed. Beth swore as she sat back in her bed.
Shit!
She was banned for 3 days now. For 3 days she would be stuck in the shithole of a world. For 3 days she would not see Andre. For 3 long days he would be in torment and confusion. For 3 days her artificial intelligence substitute would be running the show for her. Who could say what damage that substitute would do? Who could say what it would tell Andre? Oh, why did she do it? The lake, the picnic, everything was so perfect. Why did you have to mess it up, Beth? She said to herself. She picked up the remote and pressed a few buttons. She remembered Susan. She needed to know who Andre really was. Why should that matter, she thought. But it did. She could not get the thought out of her mind. She needed to know this man, to meet him in the real world, even if he wasn't a man at all. You have been listening to I Heart You by Daniel Johnson. Copyright 2020 by Renaissance Productions. For this and other writings, go to genesis2112.com or search Sue Lee Daniel Johnson on Kindle, iBooks, or Barnes & Noble.